Okay, so now that we have our 3D wreath form together, let's go over the rest of our supplies that we need for this craft. We have a bunch of florals from Dollar Tree. I also have some craft foam. I have one in a block and one in a circle with a bit of a cylinder on the bottom. Now, this will depend on how big of a floral arrangement you want inside of your wreath form. I am probably going to stick with the square because I like it a little larger. I also have some nautical rope that I also purchased at Dollar Tree. I have 3 rolls of it right here. I have these little mini artificial pumpkins that I purchased from Walmart. They're called Harvest Pumpkins. And I have some burlap ribbon. This is 2.5 inch wired ribbon that I'll make a bow with. I have some zip ties for our bow. And I also have a little bit of a buffalo check, 1.5 inch wired ribbon that we can use. I have a hot glue gun, wire snips, and scissors. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first up we're going to use our decorative nautical rope. I'm going to take it out of the package here, cut that off. And there's a zip tie in there, holding it together. And we are going to wrap this nautical rope all around this wire edging. So on the bottom of the rope, where the strand starts, there's a piece of tape just to hold it together. I'm going to cut that off. It's very thick rope, and these are not very sharp scissors. There we go. I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue and dab it on there because I want that to stay together. Now I'm going to place it onto the bottom of my wreath form. And it's hot, so be careful. Now what I'm going to do is just do a dab of glue on my rope. Just a little at a time. And I'm going to wrap it on there. You can make this as spread out as you want or as close together. I'm going to go with a medium, kind of close, kind of spread out. But I still want to be able to see the wire just a smidge. So we only need that hot glue at the very beginning and then at the very end. So we're going to wrap this through here. And this does take a bit of time, but it's worth it in the end if you don't really want to see these wire rungs. Okay, the tedious part is over with and we have fully wrapped our 3D wreath form with the nautical rope. Now it's the time to add all the flowers. So what you can do is, again, as I had said before, you can use the craft foam. This one's in the shape of a circle and this one's in the shape of a square. Just play with it and see what you think you'll like. If you want a lot of flowers, so it's like kind of coming out, use the square. Let's just see. Yep, or you can use the circle, and it's a little more modest. We're gonna go with that one actually. So I'm gonna cut off the wrapper. And now on this 3D wreath form, there are those little pegs. So that's how I'm able to secure this to that peg. But I will go ahead and just stick a little hot glue in there and kind of the hole that I punched when I stuck it through. Stick it in there and hold it for just a few seconds to make sure it gets nice and secure. Now, however, if you are going to hang this, this is the way that you do this. So then you can use like your leftover rope. You can just make it, a big bulky hanging thing, something like that. But if you want to mount this this little circle wreath form to say a block of wood. What you want to do right now before you put this foam on here is to secure this to this block, this wooden block. You would line it up, mark 4 areas where you would want to drill a hole, come back and drill tiny holes through this, and then use your floral wire or a thicker gauge craft wire and secure that onto this block. But for this craft, I'm going to be doing it so it hangs up. I'm going to hang it actually out on my porch. So I'm going to leave it like this. So I've got this in here. Now, of course, because this is circular, it doesn't want to not fall over. So we can use like another craft block or foam block or something to hold it in place to help it just balance. We'll stick it. We'll just leave it. So now is the fun part. You just start taking your flowers. Again, I have just a mixture of floral from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use my wire snips and just start cutting them off. Always make sure that you leave your green little leaves on there, because that one helps it fill out your floral decoration a lot more, but it also helps it make it look a lot more realistic. So, all right, the tag is on that one, so we're gonna slide that. These would be a really great craft for a wedding. I actually bought some other colored flowers to make this for a wedding decor item. I'm gonna propose it to my brother and to be sister-in-law. Maybe they'll like it, who knows? So here we go, just doing lots of flowers. The more the better in my mind. I love flowers. And I really like artificial flowers because you can't kill them. And if you guys are like me, I like to buy flowers, but then I forget to water them, or they start to droop, and then I overwater them. So many things. So these, can't go wrong. And again, always cut your stems longer than what you might possibly need them once you stick them into your foam, because you can't make them grow again. You can't grow those stems. You want them to be long so that you can come back and trim them if they need to be shorter. But you never know which ones you're going to have standing up on top, and will need to be a little taller than the ones on the sides. So always keep them long at first. I've got a bunch of these orange ones from a different project, but they were also from Dollar Tree as well. And I've got some red ones here. We'll throw a couple of those in. Oh, that one's missing a flower. Now, sometimes when my Dollar Tree didn't have a lot of red flowers. This was like the only one. So in that situation, these flowers are kind of wah, wah. So what I can do is take some hot glue and glue them back together. So they've kind of been loved on a lot, I think. They've probably been shifted around in the store, been there for a couple seasons, and lots of people have picked them up, stuffed them back into the little floral holders, who knows. So, but it's okay. They were a really pretty loose, wavy red flower that I wanted. I didn't want a rose. I didn't feel that a rose was quite appropriate for this decor item. However, I do have some yellow roses here because I did want just a little pop of yellow, and that was the only option for yellow. So I'm gonna glue these flowers. So a lot of times the petals will start to become really pulled apart. Just take a little hot glue and stick them back together to help them keep their form. And again, be careful because the glue is hot. So, and it does come through these little silky artificial petals pretty easily. So keep them like that. Okay, and let's do just a couple yellow. I just didn't want, oh, that one popped right off. I didn't want it to not have a couple things of yellow in there. 1 and 2. We'll go with 3. Things are better in 3s. Okay, and then, oh, I forgot a red one. I do have some pretty purples. I have been doing a little bit of a different color themed decor for fall this year. Been adding in some pinks and purples. So I figured this would look really pretty in there. You guys can check out a couple more tutorials for some of the wreaths I've been making recently. Check for the lamb's ear with a buffalo check wreath, and some pumpkin tutorials that I have on there, fabric pumpkins, and pumpkins using Goodwill shirts, plaid shirts, lots of fun things. Okay, so we've got our flowers here. This is a big pile of them. I'm gonna stand this up again, move all the extra stuff out, and I'm just going to start putting in my flowers. I think I'm gonna start with my red. Kind of get a feel for how I want the reds to be in there. So what you want to make sure you do, you have the edge on this floral foam as well as the top. Make sure you don't just go in on the top. You want to make sure you're putting flowers in on the edge as well. So we're gonna cut this one a little bit. This one doesn't need to be quite as long to go on the edge. And you can also put a dab of hot glue on your end before you stick it into the floral foam. It just helps it stay a little better, but not necessary. So let's see, let's do another red one over on this side. So it needs to be trimmed just a smidge also. These would be really pretty at Christmas time too. If you decorated them with poinsettias, oh, That'd be gorgeous. And it with this nautical rope, it gives it a little bit more of like a rustic farmhouse feel if that's your decor vibe. So I just pop that one apart, stick that one back together. Maybe I don't want orange yet. Let's keep it with just the red so far. I've got these little white ones almost look like a sunflower. I think they're more like a daisy, but they just resemble the sunflower inside to me. So I wanted to get a couple of those. Just stick around. You can also, if your Dollar Tree has it, mine did not, the little Spanish moss, like the peat moss, they sell it usually over near the vases. So if you're there, take a look in the vase aisle. But you could decorate, you could hot glue or spray glue some Spanish moss, peat moss onto this floral foam craft thing, and that would help it dress it up just a little bit more, just in case you see any peaks of the floral foam coming through. So let's see, I want to definitely get these purple ones in there because they're just so fun. I think purple and red look so pretty together, especially with the white too. It just gives it a prettier look than if it was just, you know, all your traditional fall colors. So we'll get a yellow one in there. I don't want this to be super prominent, so I'm going to tuck that one pretty deep down. There we go. Pretty. Oh, we're going to cut this one. That one is a little long. I'll do a little glue. So as I always say with floral decorating, there is no right or wrong way to arrange flowers. It is all just up to you, however you prefer to have them arranged. The biggest tip I have is just making sure that it's very full. Nobody likes a sad and droopy floral arrangement. You want it full and very vibrant with lots of life. So get this in there. This is looking really pretty. I think I want a white one in the center here. Yep. Then you can also take some greenery leaves and stick those in here as well. That helps make it look a little more full too. So it's really coming along. It looks really pretty. I like this a lot. Okay. It would be really cute if you didn't do any color and you just left it all white flowers and you used your buffalo check and your burlap ribbon and put some sprigs of like bow sprigs in there. That would be really pretty as well. But I decided I wanted a little bit of color for this one. We'll do 2 more flowers on here. Just want to try to cover up that base of the craft foam. So I've been arranging flowers for quite a while, never at a professional level or anything. However, I started arranging them way before Pinterest. For my wedding, I actually used Dollar Tree poinsettias and I crafted all of my bouquet as well as my bridesmaids bouquets, and you really couldn't tell that they were artificial. They were so beautiful. This was many years before Pinterest, and I just had this idea that I could put that together because I wanted to keep it for forever, because we got married at Christmas time, 8 days before Christmas, and you don't really have a whole ton of fresh flowers then, but you have poinsettias, and poinsettias are very difficult to work with, especially for a fresh floral arrangement. So I went artificial from Dollar Tree and I loved them, and I still have them today. They're very beautiful. So Dollar Tree always comes at us with amazing, amazing flowers. I love them for flowers. So there you go. So here is our finished product so far. Now, if we want to add pumpkins, let me show you guys how to do that. So I have these little bamboo wooden skewers. We've used them for a couple other projects, but you would take your faux pumpkin, stick it in the bottom, make a floral pick out of this pumpkin, and you just stick it in, just like you did the flowers. Stick your pumpkin in. That one looks cute. I really like those green ones. They're adorable. These pumpkins are from Walmart, and they were only $2.98 for about 6 or 7 in the bag. I'll add another one. This just helps make it look very fall-like, I think. trim this one up just a smidge. It's a little long on there. Perfect. Yep. I think we should still go a little shorter. Kind of came through the pumpkin on that one. So we're just going to glue that back down. There we go. Oh, this looks so cute. So we'll do one more little pumpkin in here. Trim that. Put it into our pumpkin and find a spot to stick it. There we go. So there we go. That looks really cute. Let's go hang it up outside and see what we think. I'm going to use my extra rope, my nautical rope, and just tie it like such. Oh, need a little longer. There we go. Let's go hang it up outside.